the longest mashup this app has ever seen.
Okay. I'm doing this tonight. You're probably gonna start a fight. I know this can't be right. Yeah, baby, you can tell by the way I use my walk. I'm a woman's man. No time to talk. Thinking about a little white tank top sitting right there in the middle by me. Well, you can find me in the back of a jacked up tailgate. Sit around watching all these sexy ladies wanna par with us. Yeah, in a car with us and no war with us. Yeah, never made it as a wise man. Couldn't cut it as a poor man stealing. If I were crazy, then would you still call me Superman? Cold boy 5, 2 zigzags, baby, that's all we need. We can go to the park after dark, smoke that tumbleweed. Check it. Billie Jean is never loving me, and it doesn't even matter. Tonight, there's a party on the rooftop, time for the world. You want me? I want you, baby. My sugar boo. I'm meditated, having girl problems. I feel bad for your son. I got 99 problems and the bitch ain't one. I buy a yacht with the flag saying chillin' the most. Then rock that bitch up and down the coast. The devil went down to Georgia because he was looking for a soul to steal. He was in a bind because he was way behind and he was willing to make a deal. And he went to the hotel, motel, holiday inn. Well, Jesus, walk out, show me the way because the devil's trying to bring me down. Here's your one chance, baby, so don't let me down. Pretend that airplanes in the night sky like shooting stars. Yeah. One thing I ask of you, well, let me be the one you back that ass into. Well, if you do, that's OPP and you're not down with that. But if you don't, here's your membership to the window, to the wall. Well, how you gonna do it if you really don't want to dance? By standing on the wall. I want your loving and I want your revenge. You and me here on a bad romance. 5150, somebody call the po-po. We go way out where there ain't nobody. Go, walk out the door, just turn around now, cause you're not welcome anymore. Go on, fix your makeup, girl, it's just a breakup, yeah. Players only, put your pinky rings up to the move, bitch. Get out the way, get out the way, get out the way. Makes me that much wiser. Thanks for making me a fighter. Just lose it. Oh, go crazy. Oh.
Angela. No, I don't shake hands with women for religious reasons. Yeah, for religious reasons.
In that case, I don't think I can speak to you anymore.
Why? Is that what you know?
Because I think that's really offensive.
No, men.
That's okay,
No,
you have a belief set and
but hold on.
Shake hands.
No, but hold on. Let me tell you something though. Yeah, this is good. This is good. It shows you that they're incapable of having conversation with someone who doesn't believe in certain values. So they wouldn't be shaking hands with a tribal leader in Africa. They'd walk away from them. Because you're not allowed to shake hands with tribal leaders in Africa. If you had a Jew, you wouldn't shake hands with them because an Orthodox Jew. So in other words, if you don't believe in our liberal values the way we accept them and the way we shape them and the way then we're not going to have conversations with you. So that's intolerance. That's liberal intolerance. And I'm very happy it was on camera. Walk away. It's feministic intolerance. White person's intolerance. Very good. I'm very happy. Walk away because you know what? I'm going to speak to people on my terms. You know, if you don't want to touch me, you don't have to touch me. I'm not going to force you to touch me. Do you get what I'm trying to say? And this is the ridiculousness of feminism. Let's move on the subject. Let's change the subject to something else. If a woman, think about this from a second wave feministic discourse. If a woman decided that she doesn't want to be touched by a man, and that was her feministic stance, that actually I don't want to be, you know, touched by a man, etc., then it would be a matter of stance, a matter of ideology. And if I were to protest against that, I'll say, look, this is the autonomous decision making of a woman who is second wave feminist, who decided that she doesn't want to be touched by a man. Why should you enforce your will to touch a man?
You were a man in ancient Rome and you caught your wife cheating. You were encouraged to lock her up with her lover, and then you had 20 hours to call as many neighbors as you could and invite them to come check out the guy that was sleeping with your wife. You then had 3 days to make a public declaration specifying who your wife was sleeping with, how did you catch them, and as many juicy details as you could. At this point, you had to divorce your wife. If you didn't divorce your wife, you could be charged with. You could only unalive your wife's lover if he was a slave or a prostitute. But if he was a free citizen, you would have to go to your father-in-law and you could ask him to unalive him, because husbands were not allowed to unalive their wife's lover, but fathers, they were allowed to unalive their daughter's lover. If you were a woman in ancient Rome and you caught your husband cheating, what you could do is cry about it, though it was not encouraged.
There's a double standard though. If a man said, "Oh yeah, when I married my lady, she had $15,000 in her account. Working with me over the 2 years, now she got 120 in there, and I got 2 properties in her name." Niggas gonna applaud him. They're gonna applaud her. They're gonna say the marriage strong. Let a woman say,
Come on.
"When my man came to me, he hadn't finished school yet. He didn't have good credit. And after 2 years with me, I built his credit up. I put him through school, and I got him 2 houses." They're going to look at him like he a bum, and they're going to look at her like she dumb.
And that's part of the issue. I think, to get back to what the original question was how you know the difference between you're pouring into your partner versus mothering them. If you're pouring into a partner that's 1, willing to learn, 2, asking for your help, and 3, implementing what the you teaching. Like, if that person is constantly falling short of actually moving into action of what lessons you're teaching them, if they're not asking for those lessons, if they're not really ready to apply that to their life, you're trying to mother that person and you're trying to force change, and you need to force change by changing the person you're trying to be with.
Excuse me, the men's restrooms are over there. Oh, sorry. I thought you were...
Sorry, what?
Oh, the men's restrooms.
Over there? My bad.
No, wait, ma'am.
These 2 girls grabbed my butt in the gym, then laughed at me when I got upset. They tried to act like I was tripping when I wasn't okay with it.
There's so many girls that say like 6 feet, 6 figures, 6 inches.
Yeah.
But there's not men that are average saying I deserve a Victoria's Secret.
Yeah, because you're realistic.
Yeah, well, I think reality hits men harder than women. Women, whenever men have a standard, they're shamed for it. So like if they say I want thin chicks, they'll say fat shaming. They'll say I don't want to date a girl that's been ran through. It's slut shaming. Where women, if we have a standard, we're praised.
Standards are celebrated. Men's standards are discriminated. If a guy says, I don't want a promiscuous woman, I don't want a girl that's fat, I don't want a girl that's rude, that's annoying, that's crass, that's considered insecure. But if a girl says, I want a man that's taller than me, makes more money than me, successful, ambitious, you go, girl, you know your worth.
You go, queen.
The problem is that male boundaries are disrespected. Female boundaries are totally respected and encouraged. And even if a girl doesn't, let's say a girl's fat, obnoxious, and rude, and quite frankly doesn't deserve the caliber of man that she thinks she deserves, society will still prop her up and tell her, you deserve that multi-millionaire 6'3" guy, even though you're ugly.
Can someone please make this make sense? So let me get this straight. When women are ready to leave, they spend months planning on how they're going to leave. They tell their friends, they tell their family, they lie to their husband's face for months at a time. They stack money. They might get their own apartment. They might even have a plan to set up their kids at different schools. But they don't see that as deceitful or dishonest or harsh, and they don't understand why men are blindsided when women do this. And these women are actually praised. They did the right thing. He was so toxic. He was so horrible. He was blah, blah, blah. All the things. Yes, queen. And no, I don't mean domestic violence situations. I'm talking everyday relationships where the woman finally says that she had enough and she's claimed to be checked out for months at a time and she decides to leave. But when a man does the exact same thing in the exact same way, now he's a piece of shit. In fact, he won't even have his ducks in a row. His idea of leaving is to go sleep on his parents' couch for a couple of days and come back and try to reconcile. But yet, the men are just the pieces of shit. And the craziest part about it is if these women have kids and they bring the kids with them, there's little to no consequences for them bringing the kids with her. But if a man were to do the exact same thing, he would be looking at kidnapping charges or child endangerment, and he's gonna now have to fight for his kids regardless now that she's taken them. But if he takes them, all they have to do is bring a sheriff over and bring them right back to mom, and she doesn't really have to fight for anything. And these women will try so hard to claim that they communicate, but their idea of communicating is passive aggressiveness, the silent treatment, you should just know. Or my favorite line is, it's whatever. And a lot of times these men will actually think that it's just a rough patch in their relationship, and they're hopeful that they'll make up with their wives and their girlfriends. Meanwhile, the women are out here getting whole ass lawyers and looking at divorce. And the crazy part is that women are actually praised for being this deceitful and this dishonest, but when men do it, they're a piece of shit. Okay, bye.
I dare you to try and stop me from going into a women's bathroom. I dare you to try and stop a transgender woman in my presence from using the bathroom. It will be the last mistake you ever make.
Really?
This is a call to action. You need to arm up.
Here's the thing. I'm really not sure one thought this through before posting it and what exactly that sounds like. I really hope that that's the case, because it's not just females that use the restroom or women. There's also children, little girls, and I frankly don't care what a person identifies as or what they are biologically, male or female. If any person makes any child feel uncomfortable in a public restroom, believe me, there is an absolute lot that I can say, and there is a lot that I can do to ensure that that child will feel safe. And so when one says something like this,
There's nothing you can do to stop me.